Penfield's Bicentennial has been celebrated in many ways throughout 2010. Many groups and organizations embraced the bicentennial theme and tailored their own events to express their enthusiasm for the milestone. Festivities began with a kickoff celebration on January 6th that included appearances from the gracious Daniel and Mary Penfield, and a reenactment of the Penfield's first town board meeting with Brooks Mason, the first town clerk, and William McKinstry, the first supervisor.
I'm sure all of you know that I was Mr. Penfield's right-hand man, but I digress.
I don't know if the good old days have any meaning for you, but back then we met once a year.
The Four Nouns provided entertainment for the town hall full of Penfield residents and guests eager to get the 200th birthday party underway.
I hear someone's having a birthday here. Who's having a birthday? I think the whole town's having a birthday.
Community activities included a production of The Brothers O'Toole by the Penfield Players with a visit from Daniel and Mary Penfield.
When I first came here, there was not anything but trees and grass and forest. Theater is here now, but it has been here for 45 years. And thank you.
The Penfield Symphony Orchestra recognized the bicentennial by performing an original music piece entitled Penfieldia.
This tells the history of Penfield from the Big Bang to 2010 in under 5 minutes.
Penfield Bicentennial was featured in Monroe County's Towns and Villages kiosk display.
Why didn't we create a kiosk that could actually move around the community? And that's what we have done.
We had the Heritage Kiosk come in yesterday and was set up. Penfield is featured because of our bicentennial. And again, I'd like to recognize the county staff for getting it set up for the next week here, as well as Kathy Knauer, our town historian, who really did a lot to contribute to this particular program overall.
The Kiwanis Club and the Town of Penfield hosted a bicentennial charity golf tournament. And the Young, Open, and Honest Players performance of Our Town commemorated life in a small town in the 19th century. Many of the Town of Penfield's events took on a bicentennial theme. The local History Room's open house showcased a general store display provided by the Brayman family.
There was no newspaper delivery out in East Penfield at that time, so many of the men on their way home from work would stop and pick up the newspaper. Their wives would call on the phone and say, "Tell Frank when he stops to bring home a loaf of bread or a dozen eggs or something."
The town's Independence Day celebration paid tribute to the Bicentennial's Generation Strong theme by recognizing families who have lived in Penfield for many generations.
It's important to recognize families that have been in Penfield and have managed to stay in Penfield through several generations. It's interesting to see the variety of occupations and cultures that made up the early settlers of Penfield.
And the 2010 parade was rich with floats supporting the bicentennial theme.
200 years in Penfield. We couldn't ask for a more perfect day for a parade and a more perfect way to celebrate Penfield's bicentennial.
The annual Tasting the Blues chili contest and music festival at the Kiwanis Stage and Amphitheater featured a heritage chili entry from the East Side farm families.
All the ingredients in this chili were grown in the town of Penfield.
This Penfield Heritage Chili is going to represent 649 years of farming in the town of Penfield. So this is basically an advertisement. Eat local and, oh yes, vote local.
The historic Dayton's Corner Schoolhouse shared the experience of an old-fashioned holiday to give the flavor of Christmas in Daniel Penfield's time.
200 years is important to us because we bear the name Penfield.
We want to build up momentum for our up-and-coming bicentennial event dates.
The Bicentennial Committee sponsored special events to mark the most significant bicentennial milestones. There was a festive gala at the historically appropriate Daisy Flour Mill.
Our voice class students to join the jazz choir and everybody in singing happy birthday to Penfield. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Penfield. Happy birthday to you.
On March 30th, county officials proclaimed the town's 200th birthday as Town of Penfield Day. Wegmans, a bicentennial sponsor, provided an impressive community birthday cake.
Penfield in so many ways represents the strength of what we are as a larger community. What an incredible cake, what an incredible company to have located and headquartered here in Rochester and in the town of Penfield. Congratulations, Linda. Thank you very much.
The town commemorated Daniel Penfield's birthday with a wreath-laying ceremony in Oakwood Cemetery. A townwide vote, led by the Conservation Board, chose the official bicentennial tree.
Be it resolved that the red maple tree is hereby designated as the official tree of the town of Penfield, and that the planting of the tree to be encouraged wherever possible.
On Arbor Day, the town and Grossman's Garden and Home planted a red maple.
So we were walking through our field, and Linda took a look and she said, "What's that big tree in the middle of the field?" And I said, well, that's a red maple that I planted back in 1984. And so we chose another red maple that was actually planted in 2004, which is the one behind us. And it's actually just a smaller version of that larger one that we'll get to see grow in another 25 to 35 years.
A fine art exhibit entitled Artistic Impressions of Penfield was held at the Penfield Arts Center.
Our last category, Best of Show, Wishes Adrift, Christina Hutch Matthews.
The local history room and the Young, Open and Honest Players sponsored a ghostly night walk in Oakwood Cemetery with visits from Penfield's earliest settlers.
You'll find other soldiers at other cemeteries, so always be vigilant.
Hey, hello, Mary Lou. Goodbye, heart.
And on a perfect autumn day, Penfield's farm families presented a heritage festival in Rothus Park.
This event's being held to recognize the contribution of agriculture to the town of Penfield and the contribution of the families who have been living here and working here for well over 100 years.
Visitors enjoyed old-fashioned fun, food and displays including farm animals, handcrafted toys, games, hay rides, square dancing, sack hop, tug-of-war, tractor plowing demonstrations, ice cream making, and so much more.
Milk, sugar, ice, and an old coffee. Yeah, and lots of energy.
The Bicentennial Committee created memorabilia to mark the 200th anniversary. The group published Memories of Penfield, a collection of stories and reflections contributed by past and present Penfield residents. Bicentennial souvenirs were sold throughout the year.
We have wine glasses, we have gift bags, we have a multitude of souvenirs
to commemorate Penfield. And Nels is our best spokesman and advertisement for the town of Penfield. He's dressed in bicentennial clothes right now. So, please visit Nels.
The most significant project of all is an impressive bronze sculpture of Daniel Penfield by sculptor Don Sotil that will be installed and dedicated in Penfield's historic Four Corners in 2011. Commemorative bricks were sold to raise funds for the statue. They will be installed in the sculpture's garden alongside Daniel Penfield. Although the year of 2010 is coming to a close, Penfield has much more to celebrate. We begin our next 200 years with a deep regard of Penfield's past, an appreciation of our present, and a great anticipation of our community's future. May Penfield always be Generation Strong.